Hello, my name is David Gutierrez. First of all, I'm not a professional developer in Java, but I am a math teacher. This is a project I am doing in my spare time since the COVID lockdown. So it almost has 6 years old, yeah.
Yeah, COVID time was an interesting time. A lot of people started personal projects. So yours is one like that. JMathAnim is the name. What was the goal of the project?
There is a YouTube channel called 3Blue1Brown that makes mathematical videos with beautiful animations. And he used his own Python library called Manim. It was a private library to use by himself, but he released in the public. I tried to use it, but it was had very things they need to publish. So I decided to write myself my own library, but in Java. Mine is written in Python, and I decided to write in Java because I like more Java than Python.
Can we jump into the application and that you give a demo of what it actually can do?
Yes, of course. This is the main window of the JMathAnim. Initially, the JMathAnim was designed to be a Java library to write Java code, compile, and generate animations. But recently, I added scripting with Ruby because it can be easier for non-professional programmers because I want this program to be aimed to math teachers, which most of them are not professional programmers, to do animations. So I try to make it simple, the most simple possible. For example, a simple example, we can design here a circle and apply an animation that shows the creation of the circle for 3 seconds. Right. Press run, you can show the animation. This is a very simple example, but it shows how the program works. You write Ruby code here, and you execute the animations. From the list of animation that the program has, there is one that the math transform animation that is very complex because it admits a lot of parameters. In this example, you have the first formula, and you want to animate a transition to convert into the second formula. For example, we want the x glyph to transform in this exponent to transform in this exponent, these glyphs into these glyphs. And if you run preview, works. Let's put this stat. And if you run preview, you can see how the formula is transformed.
Okay. So this is a way to explain formulas in education, for instance?
A way to, with an animation, explain how a formula can convert into another with algebra rule. If you make a simple animation that simply transforms this shape in the lower shape, it does not contain information, mathematical information about what are you doing. So this animation needs to be fine-tuned like this. And you can, for example, this say that parentheses move from up. It's beautiful and nice. If you press here the insert code, it generates the code needed to run this animation in the edit window. And this is the generated code. If you run, you have still the same animation that we defined.
Okay, so you could either script it yourself with the result that you see now, or you can use the other tool to generate this code.
Yes, and this has a metadata for if you want, you can edit again in the dialog.
This is only one way, so it's showing formulas, but you also have a lot of, I think it was on Blue Sky, where you saw very nice animations that you generated with this tool. So is this all calculation based, or can you give some of these examples?
I have some examples here. For example, sine, cosine. This is a typical demo of how the sine and cosine are defined. There are many ways to do an animation to this program because, as I said, I am a mathematician to the program. And as a mathematician, I like to to solve problems in many different ways. You can do animation with simple commands like play.shift or play.scale or play.transform, or you can do animation in the old-fashioned way with advanced frame. You position the objects, advanced frames, move the object, advanced frames. This is the other way. You can also use Ruby code editor, or you can use this, the JMathAnim core, as a Java library.
Why using Ruby in that editor? Is it because that's a language which is used a lot in mathematical education?
I use Ruby because, well, because it has a very good scripting support for Java. My first design was to write Java code in the editor, but I saw that Ruby is almost out of the box scripting capabilities. It's very, in fact, it was very easy to design the scripting code. But Ruby, if you want, you can almost write Java. Because Ruby and Java are almost 100% compatible. I left the Ruby syntax to make it simpler. No.
Yeah, I added the screen again. If you have more demos, impress us.
This is an example of how a Voronoi diagram is created.
Okay.
Well, not mathematically is created, but how the Voronoi is a representation of how the Voronoi diagrams represent the cells growing. We have random cells, random points in the screen that represent cells growing, and they fill the whole space.
So as soon as they touch, they stop growing. That's the idea.
Yes. For example, another illustrative animation of the distributive property showing with rectangles.
Okay. Yeah.
How you can visually see the distributive property.
If people want to start experimenting, they can find examples on the website?
Yes, this is the website of the project, a gallery with examples and a manual which covers the basic topics. The manual is not fully 100% complete because the library is very complex and it grows almost every week. The most common concepts are there in the manuals. We have how to create objects, how to use style, transforming, animating, adding effects to animations, for example, with a lot of examples, basic and complex. And I have this gallery with some basic effects, basic examples with code and
they all have a video,
animation. For example, this is a basic example of a function we show the function with Series law, showing the derivative of the function. Very simple.
Yeah, very simple, but still quite complex. The animation itself, you add labels, you add placeholders to show the formula. So all these formulas are also JavaFX rendered, correct?
All the text in JMathAnim is made with LaTeX. LaTeX is a program. It's almost the must use for any mathematician. It's a program designed to write mathematical text. The JMathAnim uses a library that uses LaTeX to create text. Another example for this has no mathematical meaning, but it's good. It's nice.
You say it's simple. I have no idea how I would start this. I'm not a mathematician, so I have no idea how I would start doing something like this.
No, the code for this is not very complex. This is.
Yeah. I like the fact that the code that you need to generate the animation is pretty small, indeed.
And this animation is done with the advanced frames method, the old-fashioned method. You move the objects, and with this command, advanced frame, you advance the frames, the frames needed. For example, a creation of the fractal, the Koch curve. These animations are time-consuming because they are very complex. The first step are fast, but the last step may take a few minutes.
This is what is how do you call this? Fractals?
A fractal cube,
Yeah.
a Koch cube. This is a curious mathematical object. It's a cube that holds a finite area, but it has infinite length. The 2C couple, the distributive property. Again, there are lots of examples here.
Yeah, that
More
one
example.
we've seen. Yeah.
And of course, the king of animations, the Pythagoras theorem. This is animation very simple because it involves only move, rotating, scaling, and the library is designed to make this test very easily. So you can do an animation like this. If you know the library, you can do it in 1 hour, 2 hours max. And this is a visual proof of the Pythagorean theorem.
You were able to do all of this with JavaFX. Was it hard to find a way how to visualize this? You say I'm not a trained developer. You built this as a mathematician because you're interested in showing things and how they look like?
I always like the visual part of a mathematician and how to show hard math concepts in the easy ways. And for that, a video animation is one of the most precious tools you can have. I fell in love with the YouTube channel from the 3Blue1Brown that inspired me to do this library. It was a very hard part for me at the beginning to get the things done with the library because I have to learn a lot. I had to read a lot of books about Java, JavaFX. The part of JavaFX was easier because my definition of math objects was very near, very similar to the objects of Java. So the link between JMathAnim and the renderer based on JavaFX was easy in this way. But there were a lot of technical parts that I had to read a lot and ask a lot in Stack Overflow. Now ask a lot to
AI.
It has more patience sometimes.
And are you rendering all this with Canvas, or are you using any nodes in JavaFX to create the visual output?
I rendered all this in Canvas.
Yeah.
I use Canvas. When the canvas is generated, I save it to an image. With another library, I write the video file.
I'm really impressed with how you create these animations and go from the mathematical way of how things look into something that is easy to understand, because you're totally right. How did they say that is one image can say more than 1,000 words? So if you have a video, then you can show something which is explained in books, like the Pythagoras equation. So yeah, it's really great how you went from these mathematical models into something that you can actually show.
I hope this program may be useful to math teacher or math YouTubers who want to use it.
By the way, I saw that in your code editor you have code hinting. So if you start typing, then it shows you the list of available commands.
Yes.
Is that something you implemented also?
Yes. I used the library air syntax area. I think that it has an autocomplete editor. You use IntelliJ of NetBeans and you use to autocomplete. You cannot leave without autocomplete. So
no, indeed.
One of the first things I did with the editor was implement the autocomplete.
By the way, all the libraries that you mentioned, I will add this to the show notes, so they're below this video or also in the blog post that is with this video. Okay, anything more you want to show?
If you want, I can show another video. This is a video made that shows how you can convert this number, which is writing in base 10, our base, into a base 5, using candy boxes. It is in Spanish, it's candies, caramelos is candies, and cajas is boxes. You have the candies falling, and you have to box it in boxes of 5 candies each. And this is the process that you can you use boxing. I use this in my math class to help my students to think about how this process, how to infer naturally that what that we are doing is an integer division, a Euclidean division, and how to know the rules of the conversion to anticipate and not doing mechanical calculation. These 5 boxes of this convert in the box of this, and 5 boxes of this type convert into 1 box of this. So the 147 converted to base 5 is 1042.
Okay, yeah. You create this video out of your tool automatically, so there are no steps in between. You can just export it as a video?
Yes. I define 2 parameters, the number and the base, and the program generates the video in any case.
Okay, very nice way to learn about these numbers. So that's base 5. I learned something today again.
Thank you.
I'm not a trained developer myself or a mathematician, so I'm learning with every new video that I create. Okay, so the project lives on Codeberg. You have the website. Also add the link to the show notes. Thank you a lot for creating this amazing project and making it open source, sharing it for everyone. That they can use it, and I hope with this video and with everything related to it that we can get some more attention for it and that it gets used more, and maybe you will see in the contributions if people want have issues or feature requests which can evolve the project even further. Thank you for your time, thank you for your amazing work, and thank you for sharing the project.
Thanks.